first sign or forecast for future divorce that you must avoid is constant conflict or silent resentment. Communication is one of the most key aspects in every marriage and one of the most common issues that we see in divorce. If you and your spouse are constantly in conflict or silently resent each other, have a conversation, don't actually say what you feel or think in the moment, or don't wait till later to express how you're truly feeling about the dynamics, that is one of the clear signs that divorce is in the future in a marriage. If you feel like topics that should not result in conflict turn into huge blowout fights with your spouse, if you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells and nothing is safe to talk about, you run a conversation in your head 3-4 times before you bring it to your spouse, that is a sign that you have the level of conflict in your marriage that is an early warning sign of divorce. On the flip side of that coin, silent resentment, if you have a conversation with your spouse or think of your spouse and you silently don't share what's truly in your heart, the pain points that you have, the feelings that you're experiencing, if you stop yourself from really opening up, even in the moment or at a later time when you've had the opportunity to cool off, that is another warning sign that divorce is in the future. When a relationship gets to the point where the person who's supposed to be the closest person to you in your life, your spouse, when you're no longer able to have those candid conversations, when the timing is right, not in the moment every time, that's a huge sign that divorce may be imminent. If you can't have those conversations when the timing and mood is right, that is the first major forecast or predictor for divorce. The second greatest sign that divorce may be in the future is the lack or loss of trust. I've seen as a practicing divorce attorney that this issue pops up in two most common ways. One, financial infidelity, or two, relationship infidelity with another person. Financial infidelity comes when someone has spent large amounts of money without letting the other person know or without letting them know the extent of it. This often comes in the form of gambling addictions or shopaholics or the incessant delivery of Amazon boxes to the front door. There's a number of ways that people can spend beyond their means without honestly communicating to their spouse or sometimes even themselves on their spending habits. And this is a primary sign that divorce may be imminent based on that lack of trust. The flip side of that coin is the infidelity piece. And that is a major driver. When someone loses trust in their spouse based on them stepping outside of the marriage, that is a key indicator that divorce may be in the future. The third sign or forecaster of a future divorce is a lack of intimacy. Intimacy comes in many forms and fashion in marriage. There's sexual intimacy, emotional intimacy, and also just intimacy of time. Is your spouse someone that you confide in, someone that you tell your aspirations to, your life goals, your plans? Is it someone that you can sit on the couch with for hours and just be present with each other? Is your spouse still someone that you have not just a sexual attraction to, but an emotional and mental attraction to, an affinity for that person? When you lose that deep connection, when your spouse no longer feels to you or you no longer feel to them to be the closest person in the world, that is a huge warning sign that divorce may be in the future. Life is a journey made up of many chapters. And in marriage, sometimes those chapters, when we turn the page, are not what we expected. One of the major drivers or forecasters of divorce is when your life goals, your vision for the future, and your spouse's don't align, or you're unable to communicate about differing goals or where you want to be in the future or right now. When spouses are unable to candidly speak about where they want to be in their personal career, in their life, or what their plans are for children or time beyond children in the home, this can be a major driver of the risk of divorce. I'm not telling you as a divorce attorney that you have to agree with your spouse every day. I certainly as a married man can tell you that I don't always agree with my spouse, and she certainly doesn't agree with me. But the ability to honestly and openly communicate with your spouse about where you see yourself in the future, how you want to live your life, what you're aspiring to be both as a couple and as an individual in your community on your own, these are crucial conversations that you feel comfortable having with your spouse and they feel comfortable having with you. If you recognize that you and your spouse are not aligned for plans for now and into the future with or without children, this can be a major warning sign that divorce may be in the future. The long and short of it is that you must stay connected to your spouse in the ways that matter most to not only you, but to your spouse as well. You want to remain in a place that you believe in your spouse and they believe in you and that you're fighting for each other's best life and best future. As a divorce attorney that's worked with hundreds of families, I see that these four things are some of the most common forecasters of divorce being in the future. If you want to save your marriage, if you want to make things right and continue your happily ever after, it is important that you face these issues head on and build a plan and a path to getting out of these spaces with your spouse. If you feel that some or all of these 4 things are no longer in your forecast, but the weather of your marriage that you suffer through every day, it may be time for you to get a consult and get questions answered about what divorce looks like and your future. I'm John Cannon, family law attorney at Cannon Associates, and I encourage you, if you live in Oklahoma, to reach out to get answers to your questions, not only about your future, but ways that you can mitigate or avoid these forecasts becoming your reality.